Breaking news for every Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipient in America. Your bank may be changing the way it handles your Social Security deposit. And if you are not aware of what is happening right now, you could wake up one morning and find your money is not where you expect it to be. I know that sounds alarming. And I want you to stay with me because what I'm about to share with you is real. It is happening right now, and it directly affects millions of seniors and disabled Americans who depend on these payments to survive. We are talking about your rent money, your grocery money, your medication money. If your Social Security check is deposited directly into your bank account, and for most of you it is, then this update is not optional information. This is critical information. Banks across the country are making changes to how they process, hold, and release federal benefit deposits. Some of these changes are subtle, some of them are not. But all of them have the potential to delay or disrupt access to the money you have earned and the money you depend on. And here is the part that makes this even more urgent. Most recipients have no idea this is happening. The Social Security Administration sends you a letter. Your bank sends you a notice buried in fine print. And before you know it, you are standing at an ATM wondering why your balance says what it says. That ends today. Right here, right now. We are going to break this down together, clearly, simply, and honestly, so that you know exactly what is changing, why it is changing, and most importantly, what you need to do to protect yourself and your family. Stay with me. This one is important. Welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, let me take just a moment to tell you who we are and why we exist. This channel was built for you, for Social Security recipients, for SSI and SSDI beneficiaries. For seniors who have worked their entire lives and now depend on the system to deliver what was promised. For disabled Americans who need reliable, accurate information, not confusing government language, not financial jargon, not fear tactics without substance. Just clear, honest, trustworthy updates every single time. We monitor changes at the Social Security Administration. We watch what banks are doing with federal benefit payments. We track policy shifts, deposit schedule changes, and anything else that could affect the money landing in your account on time and in full. Because here is the truth. Nobody is going to call you and walk you through these changes personally. The SSA is not going to send someone to your door. Your bank is not going to sit down with you over coffee and explain what their new policies mean for your direct deposit. That is what we do. So, if you are watching this video and you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I want to ask you to do that right now. Just hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. It takes 5 seconds. And it could save you from a very stressful, very avoidable situation down the road, because changes like the one we are discussing today, they happen without fanfare. They happen quietly, and the people who are prepared are the ones who were paying attention beforehand. You are paying attention right now. Let us make sure you stay that way. Let us get into it. Let us start with the foundation, because before we talk about what is changing, you need to understand how the current system works. Right now, the Social Security Administration sends your monthly payment electronically to your bank or credit union. This is called a direct deposit, or in government language, an electronic funds transfer, an EFT. The SSA processes these payments and transmits them through a network called the ACH system, the Automated Clearinghouse. Your bank receives that transmission, processes it, and credits your account. For most recipients, this happens smoothly, on a predictable schedule. SSI payments come on the first of the month. Social Security retirement and SSDI payments are distributed based on your birth date, the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month. That has been the system for years. Reliable, consistent, predictable. But here is where things get complicated. Banks are not passive players in this process. They are active participants. And right now, several things are happening in the banking industry that are directly affecting how and when your Social Security deposit shows up and becomes available to you. Let me walk you through what those things are. Processing window adjustments. Several major banks, and this includes some of the largest financial institutions in the country, have quietly updated their internal processing windows for incoming ACH deposits. What does that mean in plain English? It means that even though the SSA sends your payment on the scheduled date, your bank now has a slightly different internal timeline for when it officially posts that payment to your account and makes it available for you to use. In the past, many banks would process federal benefit payments and make them available first thing in the morning, sometimes even the night before the official payment date, as a courtesy to recipients. That is changing at some institutions. Some banks are now aligning federal benefit deposits with their standard ACH processing windows, which can mean the funds are not available until later in the day on your payment date, sometimes as late as mid-afternoon or even evening. For most people, a few hours might not seem like a big deal. But think about Mrs. Patricia, age 71, living in rural Georgia. Her automatic bill payments, her electric bill, her phone bill, her insurance premium are all scheduled to pull from her account at midnight on the first of the month. She has always had her SSI payment sitting there by the time those withdrawals hit. Now, if her bank has shifted its processing window, those automatic payments could attempt to pull before her deposit is fully available. And that could trigger overdraft fees, or returned payment fees, or both. For someone living on a fixed income, that is not a small inconvenience. That is a financial crisis. New bank policies on federal benefit holds. This is the one that has been catching recipients completely off guard. Some banks have implemented or updated their funds availability policies, specifically regarding certain types of electronic deposits, including government benefit payments. Now, federal law, specifically Regulation CC, does provide protections for direct deposits from government agencies. In general, these funds are supposed to be made available on the business day they are received, but there is nuance in that law, and banks have some discretion in how they apply it, particularly in specific circumstances, such as when an account is new, when there has been unusual account activity, or when the bank has flagged something in your account profile. What this means practically is that a small but growing number of recipients have been reporting that their Social Security or SSI deposits are being placed on a hold, sometimes for 24 to 48 hours, before the full amount becomes available. Imagine waiting 2 days for money you were counting on to pay your rent that morning. This is not widespread. Let me be clear about that. The vast majority of recipients with established accounts at well-known banks are not experiencing this. But the reports are real, the complaints to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are real, and the risk is real, especially for recipients who recently switched banks, opened a new account, or have had any kind of account irregularity. Bank mergers, closures, and account transfers. This is perhaps the most significant and far-reaching change of all. The American banking landscape is shifting. We have seen a significant wave of bank mergers, acquisitions, and branch closures over the past few years. Community banks are being absorbed by larger regional banks. Regional banks are being acquired by national institutions. And in some cases, banks are simply closing branches or exiting certain markets entirely. When your bank merges with or is acquired by another institution, your account is eventually transferred to the new bank system. That transition process can, and sometimes does, cause temporary disruptions to your direct deposit. Here is a real-world scenario to illustrate this. Imagine you have been banking at the same community bank for 15 years. Your Social Security check goes there like clockwork every month. Then one day, you receive a letter saying your bank has been acquired by a larger institution. You are told everything will transfer automatically, and you do not need to do anything. So you do not do anything. But during the transition period, your direct deposit routing number changes. The SSA, which has your old routing number on file, sends your payment, and it bounces back. Now your payment is delayed by days while the SSA reprocesses it and reissues the deposit to your updated account. During that window, your bills are due. Your medications need to be picked up. Your groceries need to be bought. This is exactly what is happening to recipients across the country right now. And most of them had no idea it was coming because they did not read the fine print in that merger letter. Digital banking transitions and app-based accounts. There is another trend worth discussing, particularly for recipients who have moved or been encouraged to move toward digital banks or app-based accounts. Many people, including Social Security recipients, have opened accounts with online-only banks or financial technology companies, sometimes called fintech companies, that offer banking-like services, debit cards, and direct deposit capabilities. These are services like Chime, Current, Vero, and others. The appeal is understandable. They often have no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and they sometimes release direct deposits early, up to 2 days before the official payment date. But here is what many recipients do not know. Some of these fintech companies are not actually banks themselves. They are technology platforms that partner with actual FDIC-insured banks behind the scenes. And when that behind-the-scenes banking partner changes, which has happened at several of these companies, your deposits can be disrupted. There have been documented cases where customers of certain fintech platforms experienced delayed or missing deposits for days during a banking partner transition. Customer service was overwhelmed, money was inaccessible, and people who depended on that deposit for their daily needs were left in a very difficult position. If you are using one of these digital banking services for your Social Security deposit, this is not a reason to panic. Many of them work very well for many people. But it is a reason to stay informed, understand who actually holds your deposits, and have a backup plan. The push to eliminate paper checks entirely. Let us also talk about what is happening at the federal level because it connects directly to all of these banking changes. The federal government has been clear about its long-term intention to eliminate paper checks entirely for government benefit payments. The Electronic Funds Transfer Act and various Treasury Department directives have been pushing toward a fully electronic payment system for years. This means that if you are one of the recipients who still receives a paper check, and there are still hundreds of thousands of you, you will at some point be required to transition to either direct deposit or a Direct Express prepaid debit card. The Direct Express card is issued by a financial institution under contract with the Treasury Department. It works like a debit card and can be used for purchases or to withdraw cash at ATMs, but there are fees associated with certain transactions. There are limits on how much cash you can withdraw at once. And if your card is lost, stolen, or damaged, getting a replacement can take 7 to 10 business days, during which time you may have limited or no access to your funds. The transition away from paper checks is not imminent for everyone right now, but it is coming. And understanding your options, direct deposit versus Direct Express versus a private bank account, is something you need to think about now, not when you are forced to make a rushed decision. All right. Now that we have walked through what is happening, let us talk about what you can do right now to protect yourself. Because information without action does not help anyone. Here are the steps I want every single viewer to take. Verify your direct deposit information with the SSA log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov or call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 and confirm that the bank account and routing number on file for your direct deposit is current and accurate. If you have recently switched banks, changed accounts, or your bank has merged with another institution, your routing number may have changed. The SSA does not know about that change unless you tell them. Do this today. Do not wait until your next payment date to find out there is a problem. Know your bank's exact funds availability policy. Call your bank or visit their website and specifically ask, what is your funds availability policy for direct deposits from the federal government? Ask what time of day your direct deposits are typically made available. Ask whether there are any circumstances under which a government benefit deposit could be held. Write down what they tell you. Keep it somewhere accessible. This is not paranoia. This is smart financial self-care. Align your automatic payments with your actual deposit availability. If you have automatic bill payments set up, which many of you do, and that is a good thing, make sure those payments are not scheduled to pull from your account before your deposit is fully available. Give yourself a buffer of at least 24 hours between your expected deposit time and any automatic withdrawal. A small calendar adjustment now can prevent a cascade of overdraft fees and returned payment notices later. Build a small financial buffer. If at all possible, I know this is easier said than done. Many of you are living month to month, and the idea of having extra money sitting in savings feels almost laughable. But even a small buffer, $25, $50, kept in your account from one month to the next can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a genuine financial emergency when a deposit is delayed by a day or two. If you can set aside even a small amount, do it. Think of it as your personal 1 to 2 day bridge fund. Watch for letters from your banks are required to notify you of changes to their policies and terms. These notices often come as inserts in your monthly statement, as separate mailings, or as emails if you have opted into electronic communications. The problem is that most people do not read them carefully. The print is small, the language is confusing, and the envelope looks like junk mail. Do not throw those letters away. Open them. If you see something about changes to your deposit policy, processing times, or account terms, that is important. Read it or ask someone you trust to read it with you. If you use a digital bank or fintech service, know who insures your money. If your Social Security deposit goes into a digital bank or fintech account, find out the name of the FDIC insured bank that actually holds your funds. You can often find this information in the app's settings or on their website. Make sure your money is FDIC insured up to the federal limit of $250,000 per depositor. And keep an eye on any communications from that service about banking partner changes. If something goes wrong, know who to call. If your Social Security deposit is missing or delayed, do not just wait and hope. Take action. First, call your bank. Ask them to trace the ACH deposit and confirm whether it was received. Second, if the bank confirms they did not receive it, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 and report the missing payment. They can investigate and, if necessary, reissue your payment. Third, if you believe your bank is improperly holding a federal benefit payment, you can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau at consumerfinance.gov or by calling 1-855-411-2372. You have rights and you have recourse, but you have to use them. Here is what I want you to take away from everything we just covered. The banking system is changing. Not dramatically, not overnight, not in ways that will affect every single one of you, but in ways that are real, that are ongoing, and that have already caused problems for some recipients. Problems that were entirely preventable with the right information. That is what this channel is here to provide. We are not here to scare you. We are here to prepare you. Because when you are prepared, a change in bank policy is a minor inconvenience, not a crisis. When you are prepared, a transition at your financial institution is something you handle smoothly, not something that blindsides you on rent day. And the way to stay prepared is to stay connected to information that is accurate, timely, and specifically relevant to your life as a Social Security, SSI, or SSDI recipient. That is exactly what we deliver on this channel every week. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Because the next update we publish could be the one that saves you from a real financial headache. And if you found this video helpful, if it gave you clarity, if it gave you a sense of what to do, please share it. Share it with a family member. Share it with a neighbor. Share it with anyone you know who receives Social Security benefits. Because the people who need this information most are often the people least likely to find it on their own. You found it today. Help someone else find it tomorrow. Let us bring it all home. Banks are changing how they handle Social Security deposits. Some are adjusting their processing windows. Some are updating their funds availability policies. Some are going through mergers and transitions that can temporarily disrupt your direct deposit. And the push toward fully electronic payments means every recipient needs to understand their banking relationship more than ever before. The good news, none of this has to catch you off guard. Verify your direct deposit information with the SSA. Know your bank's policies. Align your automatic payments with your actual deposit availability. Watch for communications from your bank. And if something ever goes wrong, know exactly who to call. You have worked hard. You have earned these benefits, and you deserve to receive them on time, in full, without confusion or delay. This channel will keep fighting to make sure you have every piece of information you need to protect what is yours. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and take care of yourself. We will see you in the next video.